What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Empire Radio Podcast. I'm Andrew,
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
and let me ask you boys something. What do sannyasins, castles, and Santa Claus have in common?
They all live on the
Endor.
forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was just gonna say today's episode that's the thing they have in common. We're talking about Ewoks, the second Ewoks movie, Battle for Endor, the 1985 classic,
Classic, that's a word for it.
groundbreaking,
Something.
cinema shattering movie,
Okay.
direct-to-TV movie, produced in part by George Lucas himself. So we're going to be talking about that. We talked about the first one last week. Today is, as of recording this, April the 20th. So
420.
420.
Okay.
Brr, 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 brr.
coming from like three of the most out of touch guys you're gonna ever listen to talk about Star Wars. It's just Drew, what were you doing today?
I was gaming with Tanner all day. So Tanner.
Okay.
Tanner's.
Anyways, today's April the 20th. It is 420, but I'm saying that because whenever you're listening to this episode, the week prior to this, so what, like the 13th? I don't know.
Yep.
We did
20
the
minus
first,
7 is 13. Yep.
Yeah, so thanks, Jeremiah. I appreciate that condescending application of my math. We did the first Ewok movie. So luckily, you don't have to go listen to the first one to know what's happening in this one. But if you're looking for a fun time, it was a fun time. Go listen to that as well. All right, like always, first and foremost, if you want to connect with us, I'm going to go through the ways right now. We're going to do it quick because you hear this every week. But Instagram and Facebook at Empire Radio Podcast. At Empire Radio Podcast, all one word. YouTube, Empire Radio Star Wars Podcast. Go hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Twitch.tv/Empire Radio. Again, that is twitch.tv/Empire Radio. And we have a Discord. And that has to be accessed via an invitation link that is in a pinned post on our Facebook page, as well as the Instagram link in our bio. So if you're going to do any of those things, if you're like, you know what, I'm limiting myself to one of those things for whatever reason, please make sure you join the Discord. It's a lot of fun, and we're growing pretty rapidly. We're growing so much, Jeremiah and Drew, that I'm having trouble keeping up with everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing a really good job. Like I was really staying up to date and like talking to people and stuff, and then out of nowhere, it was like right at the point where Darth Simp, who has been a joy to have, by the way, thank you for being a part of the Discord. Right about that time when he joined, like it just started popping off, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm lucky if I get to respond to this once or twice a day, but it's still a lot of fun. And we're still there. We're still responding to things. Drew's still lurking, and Jeremiah and I are still responding to things as we can. Yeah, Tanner's put in the chat on our Twitch stream because, by the way, you want to follow us on Twitch because we live stream all of the recordings of these episodes every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central and 9 p.m. Eastern. And he told us in the chat just a second ago, he's like, try leaving for close to 2 weeks. He's like, I feel lost.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm
Yeah.
afraid to leave for more than a day.
Other people tried to usurp his throne as meme lord. Like,
Yeah, there was a power vacuum pretty quickly.
Yeah, there is some fights going on.
It was very reminiscent of like what happened to the Empire post Return of the Jedi. So there's a lot happening on Discord. You just want to be there. It's a party. All right, and last but surely not least, one of the most personal ways that you can connect with us is by leaving us a voicemail. There's wherever you're listening to the podcast, in whatever podcast browser you're listening to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. There's a link below the player in which you can click on it and leave us a 1 minute long voicemail. We've had a really, really good run and have had a voicemail every week. I don't know how long it's been now, but I'm pretty sure it's like a month and a half.
Almost 2 months.
I think it's this might be like 7 or 8 weeks now. 7 weeks.
So we're doing really good. Thank you everyone who sent them in before. And now today we've reached mail time. It's not an official segment, but we've reached voicemail time, and we have 2 voicemails to listen to. So we've got one from someone who has already sent one in, and one from someone in a completely different part of the world. Yeah, it's his first voicemail. So I'm excited to listen to these 2 guys. You guys ready to listen and I guess have a mini discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Here is the first voicemail from David.
What's going on, guys? This is David from Massachusetts. Calling and leaving my second voicemail for you guys.
Thanks, David.
Particularly about Disney's reveal of the Obi-Wan Kenobi cast. Thought it was pretty cool that Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, or the actors that play them, are going to be making an appearance, as well as an actor named Simone Kessel, who I haven't heard of her before, but her face looks an awful lot like what Asajj Ventress could look like. And I was wondering if you guys thought it might be possible that Ventress could be making a guest appearance on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I think would be amazing. I'm a huge Ventress fan. That's it. May the Force be with you.
Thanks, David.
What's going on, guys? This is David from
no.
Massachusetts.
Oh.
Calling and leaving my...
Yeah, you had one job, man.
Okay, no one, there's no way to know when it's stuck in the loop thing. Just leave me alone. Anyways, you know what? I'm not going to do it a second time in post-production. So if you're listening to the podcast audio, it started playing again. Don't worry about it. Anyways, we're fine now. David, thank you so much for sending in a second voicemail. I still have a problem saying Massachusetts, which I just did just then, but like,
Hey, that sounded
hearing you
good.
say it,
Sounded perfect.
well,
that sounded good.
I don't know. I get really.
I'm not even gonna
self-
attempt to.
self-conscious.
I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna attempt it. So sounds good.
Anyways, so thank you for sending that in. First and foremost, thank you for just ripping the wound back open, because now Jeremiah has been sign languaging to me this whole time that I still owe him $5.
Not
because I
just
was
me, but everyone who was in the Discord at the time.
Yeah, apparently.
So
Anyways,
But
so thank you for that, because that was in relation to me thinking, I was like, what did I say? I bet $5 it's Satine.
yeah,
And then
that,
somebody was like, those are the actors and actresses for Aunt and Uncle Beru. And I was like, oh, frick. And then Jeremiah came in out of nowhere. You owe everybody $5. Anyways,
I'm still waiting for my $5.
yeah,
so.
it probably won't happen. But
Dang.
as far as Asajj Ventress is concerned, so unfortunately, she is dead.
I was gonna say, isn't she dead?
She is.
So did she die before the conclusion of Revenge of the Sith, or is it after?
Before.
It's in the book, right? So
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, there's a book called Dark Disciple.
Spoiler
even
alert,
though-
by the way, if you don't want to know that she's dead.
Yeah,
So.
I mean she dies, but
Is this canon?
like yes. And I'm not gonna spoil. Tanner
Tanner said that
I-
he would prefer a Wesley Andrews cup of coffee over the $5. But
Yeah, okay. We can talk to Drew about that later. Anyways, I was gonna say, even though how the story ends, because Revenge of the Sith happens essentially, Dark Disciple is still, I would say, like top 5 most interesting books, canon or non-canon, I've ever read for Star Wars. Like if you
who's it by?
You want to, it's I think Christine Golden. I don't know off the top of my head, but I will tell you that the 2 main characters are Ventress and Quinlan Voss, and it's based on unproduced or unaired episodes of the Clone Wars, and it is phenomenal. Like if you want to completely change the way you view Asajj Ventress, that's the book to read. It's incredible. But yeah, she does die. So it would be kind of difficult for her to show up as a current character. However, I do agree with what you're saying, David. They do look very similar in the face. Like if you shaved your head, you could have Ventress. It would have to be like a flashback, which I don't know. That could be really cool. I hope he gets some flashbacks.
Yeah, there was like someone else was like, do you think Obi-Wan could make an appearance before, or not Obi-Wan, Maul can make an appearance before he's dead? Like if
Ray Park was in the Maul. He posted on his Instagram that he was in the Maul makeup again.
So I mean, we could
Like,
see Maul,
last
but
month.
I feel like how would they do that? Because
Well, okay, but let's think about it. By the time Maul finds Kenobi in Rebels and they have their final duel, he's a lot older.
So it'd be about when Maul dies. It's I think it's about less than a year before New Hope.
Yeah.
gotcha.
So Maul would still be alive.
But didn't that scene seem like that was like the last first time that they've seen each other for a long time?
Well, yeah. And the thing is,
so it
if-
couldn't be on Tatooine.
no. But if Maul was in it, it would be has to do with like his crime syndicate stuff, and somehow Obi-Wan has to intervene in something that the crime syndicate's doing, and whatever Maul is doing, Palpatine and Vader take notice and see it as a threat and have to intervene, and that's how you would get like a Vader Obi-Wan thing. They're both trying to intervene in one thing. So like that would be cool. Like they have
Yeah, it would be super cool.
And the
to
thing
see
is,
Maul.
like in Rebels, it is implied that Maul has faced or met Vader before,
Yeah.
and so
Ooh,
like it would
I
be.
mean, it's very
cool.
possible that. Go ahead.
It would be cool if like all three of them were like
battling each other,
fighting each other at the same time.
Yeah.
or something.
or
like that.
even Vader
Or
and
if-
Maul. That'd be so dope.
Well, I would imagine I'm pretty sure. Okay, because like we saw the post from Ray Park. Like
Well, I didn't, but you did.
I didn't, but
he was in like it was in the stage of the makeup where he definitely had like the whole head cowl thing going with the horns. He hadn't been painted yet, so it was really kind of unsettling a little bit because it was like a bald Ray Park with horns coming out of his head. But like he was definitely in a makeup trailer or truck or whatever, and
So he's in this or in the
well,
something.
he
he's
just
in
took a picture
something.
of himself. So
yeah, he's in something. Like, and it was very professionally done. Like,
He
was
wasn't
on the
cross
set.
playing at some con or anything.
No, I mean, well, they haven't been happening.
True.
So either that or that was a very old picture from when he did Rogue One,
right.
which is
Or
possible,
Solo.
but like I don't
Solo.
think that's what I meant. Yeah, but which is possible, but I don't think so. But do you know what is possible?
To hear our next voicemail.
Yeah, and this one is our first international voicemail. I'm really excited about it. Let's take a listen.
Hey guys, it's Chris here, checking in from Melbourne, Australia.
So
Love
dope.
the podcast. Question for the three of you. I've just started collecting some Black Series and
Oh,
some
gosh.
vintage collection, and I'm incredibly conflicted about whether to open any of them. I really want to be able to display them in cool poses and stuff, but I also am scared to open them in case one day they're worth $1 bajillion. Interested for your thoughts. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, first of all, I'll take this.
Well, first of all, the question is.
First of all,
First of all, we all want. First of all, is here.
Drew, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to send a voicemail in. It's so cool to hear from someone in another country.
True. With the cool
It's-
accent.
Yeah, super cool. Drew, I don't think he's in the stream, but
He's not.
I'll just describe to you that when you said the Black Series, Drew, his entire being lifted. Like his entire being got excited.
Dude, I'm so pumped to answer this question.
He almost like completely just started answering the question in the middle of your voicemail. So that's all I wanted to say. Drew's gonna take this one.
But before Drew takes over, he mentioned if they were worth $1 bajillion. But is $1 bajillion Australian dollars worth anything in American dollars? Like, what is? I don't even
Jeremiah,
know.
we're not doing this right.
Like,
Jeremiah,
that could just be like
no,
$10 in American dollars. I don't know
No.
what the conversion rate is.
We're not doing that.
Okay, so while Jeremiah shoots down your country, I'm gonna actually answer this question. One, I'm kind of fangirling because your voice is amazing. I love accents.
Not a fanboy,
No,
but
yep. But
Okay.
anyways, so Black Series. Most of them are fairly easy to open and put back together. So I would say if you're getting Black Series, go for it. Because you can slide them out, you can take them apart. As long as you don't wreck the plastic they're in, you should be good to pop them back in, and it won't be a big deal. Now, if you're collecting 3 3/4 inch with a card or any Black Series with a card, I'm personally hesitant to open them unless I get 2 of them. And that's just me personally.
And Drew, for our listeners who don't know, I don't know if there are any that don't know, but what is the card?
Good question.
You're gonna have to describe it too because
sure.
of the
A
audio.
card is a back that once you open it, you can't put it back together. Essentially,
It's
that's the
pretty,
three.
Like, it's
It
like
has
the
a
pretty
really
thing that has
sweet
the art on it. Yeah.
artwork. I'm holding up the Jedi version of the Boba Fett that just dropped, and I forgot I pre-ordered it, and I already found it, so I canceled my pre-order. But anyways, so I personally would not open any 3 3/4 inch because they're all with a card, unless you buy 2 of them, because then you could for sure just open one and keep one. That's what I do. But for any Black Series that isn't on a card back where you can take them out of the box and put them back in, just go for it. Honestly, because if you do plan to sell it one day, you can just... a lot of collectors won't even realize that you did open them. So just go for it. That's my take on it. So
Yeah, I have actually opened all of my Black Series figures because I just don't.
yeah, if you don't...
I don't really care. But I haven't...
Do you have the
haven't
boxes still?
opened- No.
Oh, well...
I mean, dude, it's like a Sith trooper and a tank trooper from Rogue One and a Death Trooper from Rogue One. It's like none of the figures are like super rare.
they're not worth $1 bajillion.
Yeah.
No. But you know what? I haven't opened. I have not opened my Darth Revan pop that you guys got me, and I have also not opened the Target exclusive metallic red Mandalorian pop that I got and
sweet.
pre-ordered. Yeah.
Yeah, like certain figures you can figure out if they're going to be valuable more. Like troopers, you can probably open a lot of troopers. They come out with different variants of stormtroopers and stuff like that all the time. Some figures off the top of my head, like any Boba Fett figure, if it's on a card, do not open it. It's not worth the photo, in my opinion, because it's going to be very valuable. Unless you get 2 of them. You get 2 of them, open it up. I plan on getting actually a full back. You guys don't even know this. I'm trying to get a full display thing, and I'm going to do multiple scenes from Star Wars with Ahsoka fighting Maul, and Mando with the sand trooper or sand people. I got like 5 of them now, so I have this full scenes planned out in my head. But
Wow.
I do want to see your collection, so make sure figure out a way to send it to us or tag us in Instagram or something. I would love to see your
Well,
collection
he could just send it in Discord.
or Discord.
Who was the person that recently took a picture of? What was it?
Their books.
Oh,
That
it
was
was book, okay.
That was
Mythron, yeah.
Miss Fry. I don't know if you're in Discord, but if you are,
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like you are. But
he's
Well,
either in Discord or he was definitely in the chat because we had a full conversation about what time it was in
oh
Australia.
yes,
Well, there's
Yeah.
one. Well, I know there's one in Discord from Australia.
but I don't
yeah,
know if
but
it's
I
the
don't
same
know-
person because they were talking about.
Is there an Action Savage? in Discord?
There is. I don't know if that's the same person.
I think that's.
There's one person from Australia, but they're telling me that they have a bunch of Hot Toys that they're collecting.
Oh.
So
they're
this
rich.
could be a different Australian fan. So if it is, or if you're the one with all the Hot Toys, I still want to see pictures anyways. So put them in the
It's
Discord.
popping in Australia. Everyone got
I
billions
guess.
of dollars. Like,
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you both, Chris and David. Thank you both so much for sending your voicemails in. And we don't have any more. Those are the last two that we have that are new. So what we need someone to do is leave us a voicemail this week.
yep.
We're going to probably cry if we don't have one next week. Jeremiah told us that he would actually burst into tears on air if we didn't have a voicemail.
Because
So,
Jeremiah's a
and-
really good actor. Right, Jeremiah?
So if you don't want to see Jeremiah cry,
Oh,
But
yeah,
if they want to
or
see
maybe,
you
or
cry,
maybe if you do, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people actually probably do. So maybe.
All right, well let's really quickly let's fly on over and start talking about this movie, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
All right, here we go. Okay, we're here and we're talking about Ewoks. So, for those of you that don't know, we had a little stream party on Saturday, and we did a watch party on Disney Plus, and watched this together, and streamed it on Twitch. And then, like we normally do, we got the Twitch recording, and we went to upload it to YouTube, and it went up, and then we got an email that said Disney had blocked it. And it was like completely just, they destroyed it. So it's not on YouTube. It is on Twitch. Last time I checked.
It's still on Twitch. You can go
still
watch
on
on Twitch.
But big corporation has dropped the hammer again. I understand it. I can already hear Jeremiah preparing his argument as to why it makes sense that they did that. I don't care. It stings. It stings because a multi-billion-dollar company blocked our video. And we don't even have 300 subscribers yet, but it doesn't matter. We're here. We're going to talk about it. So if you missed the stream, just listen closely. We're going to talk about it.
Or if you want to go back and watch it, link up the times on Twitch. Go check out Twitch while you're over there. Hit a follow button.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, that was the other thing that
like-
made it sting, because like we matched up the times. I had a ton of internet issues during that stream.
True
And
that.
we paused it and kept it going and paused it. Like it's a labor of love. Like we went through the whole thing, and it's not on YouTube. But
Correct.
That's
But
life.
Twitch is better.
Twitch is great.
So
Yeah. All right. So a little bit of backstory for this one. So it was made in 1985. It was a made-for-TV movie, so it did not come out in cinemas. Written and directed by brothers Jim and Ken Wheat, from a story by George Lucas himself. This is a direct sequel to the first movie, though the stories are very loosely intertwined. But the synopsis focuses on Sindel, the girl from the first movie, who joins a new friend, Noah, and Wicket, and the other Ewoks in facing against a band of marauders. It's a follow-up to 1984's movie Caravan of Courage, an Ewok Adventure, which we talked about last week. So, synopsis. Really quickly, here's a 30,000-foot view. Sindel and her family are still stuck on Ewoks, Endor. That's what I meant to say. They're still stuck on Endor, and they haven't fixed their ship yet, but it's being fixed. Jeremit, the loving father, who's also a part of this podcast, because we call Jeremiah Jeremit now, he has almost completely fixed the ship, and then a band of marauders attacks the village, wrecks everything, kills a bunch of people, and takes a bunch of Ewoks. And Sindel and Wicket and some others have to go and beat the marauders. That's essentially the gist of the whole story. So a lot more action in this one than the first one.
Yeah, it was.
Drew definitely did not hate this.
It's pretty good.
What wasn't that your catchphrase the whole time during the stream? It's like, I definitely don't hate this.
Yep.
It wasn't.
Or I don't dislike it.
I'm not mad at it.
Oh yeah. There you go. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, he really enjoyed Drew. We learned through these two movies that Drew really loves stop motion animation.
I do. It's a special place in my heart.
Well, this is the first. I'm pretty sure the first canonical appearance of and chronological appearance of Blurks.
True, and I was super happy about that.
Yeah,
I was pretty excited.
So, were the Blurgs only in the edition for A New Hope? The
those aren't Blurks. Those are dewbacks.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, they have 4 regular sized legs instead of the two like tree trunk ones, and then like the little T-Rex arms. So yeah, lots of fun stuff happening here. So like last week, we're gonna go through, talk about the different pieces of the plot, and give our thoughts. Why don't we just go ahead and tell everybody what we thought? What would you guys rate this on a scale from 1 to 10 lightsabers?
Well, I think
Do you remember? Do you remember your ratings?
I think I said 8 out of 10.
Yeah, Jeremiah gave this
out
an
of
8.
enjoyability, not like.
Well, and it
compared
definitely
to,
helped
like,
that we
other
were all
movies.
together.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeremiah said an 8 out of 10, and who was it? 8-bit? It was either 8-bit or Holy Pickle Water that was like, okay, but if this is an 8, what's the first half of A New Hope? So we had a fun discussion about that. But Drew, what was yours?
I don't remember. I think it was 5.5.
I think you each
or
went
6?
up 1 point from
The
Caravan
last
Courage.
one.
Yeah,
which
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure I gave it like a
remember.
7.
I think it was a 6 or 6.5. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's definitely rated higher than...
The last one.
Okay, I'll tell you this. I think plot-wise, this was better than The Last Jedi, but I will always enjoy The Last Jedi more because this dude, it's a 1985 direct-to-TV movie, and it stars a bunch of Ewoks and a young girl, like
I was
and a goat goat kid.
I was like with you until you said you enjoyed The Last Jedi more. Because
Okay,
I
so
definitely enjoyed this way more than The Last Jedi.
Okay, you have to explain what you mean by plot-wise. This movie is better than The Last Jedi.
It wasn't all
makes
over the
sense.
place.
Huh?
It wasn't all over the place. It made sense. It was very straightforward, very simple.
They didn't go somewhere for no reason.
Yeah. And they didn't try to completely rewrite the lore of the Star
Oh
Wars universe.
gosh.
True.
Oh gosh.
Which, speaking of, I don't really want to mention this, but there's some talks about Ryan Johnson, and I think.
Directing an episode of The Mandalorian.
Yep.
Or wanting to direct an episode of The Mandalorian.
Yep. And I'm going to be on record right now. I pray every night from now on that is not a thing, and that will not happen.
Here's the thing.
Well, I mean,
Like someone said in Discord about that, as long as he doesn't write the episode,
yeah,
he'd be fine directing it.
yeah. He's
So-
a great director. And
I just
have
don't
you
want
seen-
him that close to Disney ever again.
Have you seen the movie Knives Out
Nope.
with Daniel Craig in it? It's a
Nope.
mystery. It's like a. It's
No,
like
I
a
heard
mystery
it's
movie.
good, but because
It's
he did it, I
incredible.
won't watch it.
Have you
Dude,
seen
it's
Looper?
yeah. Looper's great too,
Also, haven't seen it, and I won't because
Oh
it's
my
Ryan
gosh.
Johnson.
Oh god.
dude.
I don't. Okay. I don't think.
First of
people
all, Looper is really
understand.
good. Secondly, Knives Out is also really good, and he wrote and directed that, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
What was the question? What were we talking about?
we were talking about the movie. We're
Okay.
talking about our overall impressions of the movie.
Oh yeah.
But now we're gonna jump into the nitty gritty. Name that movie.
Pocahontas.
The
What?
Nutty Professor.
No, it's Nacho Libre. Man,
I've
whatever.
never seen them.
Nacho.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you haven't seen Nacho Libre?
No.
Speaking
need
of
to
Nacho
have-
Libre, so my wife hasn't seen it, and one day I made her watch it, and she was like, "This is stupid," and then it kept going, and then she started falling in love with it, And now, like, all the time, she's like, get that corn out of my face. Oh, dude, that movie's so good. That's a
good
movie
one.
you should see, Jeremiah. That is
Yeah,
so
we
funny.
should have a watch. We should have
We
another
should have a watch
and
party
do
of just watch Nacho Libre,
Nacho
just
Libre.
because that would be so
and,
fun.
Napoleon Dynamite. Love
I've
Napoleon Dynamite.
I
never
just
seen
watched it
that.
last week.
It's
never seen it.
hilarious.
I refuse to watch Napoleon Dynamite. Sorry.
Why? Because it's Ryan Johnson.
What is it?
I'm not Drew, so I don't have that as.
It's not Ryan Johnson. Why do
It's
you
like, what?
refuse to watch Napoleon Dynamite?
Cause I just think the stuff I've seen is just stupid.
Do you like The
Okay.
Office?
That was alright.
It has the
Okay,
same
yeah.
similar.
I enjoyed a lot of The Office. Like I almost gave up in that first season because like the first
the first
5
season's
episodes-
rough, but then when you
It-
get to
it
the
was
second
rough.
season,
Yeah.
Once I got past like 5 or 6 episodes, or whatever, it started to get better. Then like I enjoyed it, but
no, I'm. My wife was the same. She's like, I'm never gonna watch this movie because my brothers always watched it, and
Yeah.
so then I made her watch it the other day because we were stuck in a room, during like we were quarantining for stupid things, and so we were quarantining. There's like nothing to watch. I was like, we're watching this movie. I just put it on, and she's like, no, and like the first scene when he throws out the toy out the window, I'm just like dying laughing because it's so stupid.
Dude,
And she's like,
that
this
movie-
is it's so funny. That one did not take.
Anyways.
She still thinks it's stupid. But Nacho Libre, what he's like, the Lord. Oh my, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I like Jack Black.
Dude,
He's
you'll
cool.
like it. You'll like
Have
it.
you,
It's funny.
Have you seen Jack Black's YouTube videos of him like doing like superhero reenactment, like little clips?
Yeah, it's
This
he's
is one
pretty.
of these where he does Thor, and it's super funny.
So
I
now
love
that
Jack
We're
Black.
like 10 minutes into
We're
talking about
not
Jack
talking
Black.
about this.
Yeah. All right. So let's go through this. Okay. So Wicket, Sindel, they're all having a fun time, and then these Marauders attack. Who? They
Well,
look like.
you skipped over like the most important thing that we found out in like the first minute of the show.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Wicket knows how to speak basic, in this,
Which is stupid.
and he has
like
learned.
basic. Like he's not like
but it's stupid.
yeah.
It's stupid. And it's stupid because one, it's very unnerving to me because of his voice, and it's very basic English.
It's like a 2-year-old or 1-year-old.
Yeah, but still, he can speak enough where he can communicate. But here's the thing: this predates Return of the Jedi. It came out after Return of the Jedi, obviously, coming out in 1985. But it, timeline-wise, predates Return of the Jedi, which means that Wicket knew how to speak English.
And he chose
when
not to.
Leia, who happened to be just an older human, like Wicket's not stupid. Ewoks aren't stupid. Okay, they're sentient. They're smart enough. They're living life on their own. They can farm. They can have animals. Like they know how to do transportation. Like they're not stupid. Okay. And yet he chooses not to talk to Princess Leia the whole time. Like, do you know how much of that movie could have changed if he had just been like, yo, and then Leia was like, oh, you can at least understand me,
You're right, but
Anyways,
but it's not
sorry.
canon, so I guess
I'm sorry. It's just like Drew had the farm animals thing. Me, it's Wicket talking.
No, I agreed with you too because it was kind of like, wait, why? Why is he talking?
Yeah.
But it's not canon. If it was, then he would have talked. So there you go.
Yep.
That's fair. Okay, so her and Wicket are hanging out, and they're coming back to the village. Jeremit is fixing the ship. He's working on the ship, and then come back, and then the Marauders attack. And the Marauders are, if you want to look them up for a visual reference, they're called Sannyasins. Sannyasin Marauders.
And are
Sanyassan. Sannyasin, whatever.
are they a canon Star Wars alien?
For what I can tell, no.
Oh,
Yeah, because when you click on their specific link in Wikipedia, the known appearances are just this, essentially.
Is there not a canon, non-canon tab to switch between?
No.
Because this whole thing isn't canon, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There's.
they kind of look like.
I mean, they do show
They
up.
remind me of
in
Weekways, but like they're not
kind of.
like the same like
It's
dark
like-
like brown skin that's like not like they need to put some moisturizer on their face type of like kinky skin. But like
Yeah. I mean,
Damn.
it's like a combination between a Weequay and then the like dog looking guys from the Mandalorian episode that's based on the Seven Samurai.
The one I just
or
built.
between
Yeah.
a Weequay and the guy from one of the Indiana Jones movies when he drinks the thing and he starts turning old and like halfway through that process he kind of looks like one of them.
Yeah, that was super specific, but you're not wrong. Anyways, so they show up and they start wrecking stuff, and they're like, they come in like with blasters, and they're like shooting things, setting huts on fire, killing Ewoks, taking Ewoks hostage, and just stuff is going crazy. And then very, very quickly, Sindel's entire family gets killed.
But we don't know that though. That's the thing.
Okay, but dude,
We're supposed to assume that.
we're supposed to
like-
assume that they're killed.
Well, like we're supposed to go along with her perspective, like, oh, they're dead. Like I don't know what happened to them, and then at the end of the movie, they're gonna get reunited. Like, oh, happy ending.
But they don't.
But they don't, and I was like shocked because like this
And
is
then-
like a kids movie, and they're just dead.
Yeah, and there's not a third movie, so they're dead.
Which also, that's one of the reasons why it was better than the last one. Because you didn't get her brother, like, at all in this.
Yeah, there was a little bit of Mace and a little. Okay, so there's no mother. Katerin, she's like, I don't even know if it was the same actress.
It doesn't
All you
matter. She
see-
was dead right away.
She was
and
dead.
Laying on the ground,
you
like
didn't
She's
even
laying
see
on
her
the ground.
face. It was like just
Yeah.
her body was there.
Yeah, she was in the same outfit, but she was dead. Mace gets killed. Well,
Well, we don't see
We-
Mace.
he
Aside.
drags the mom into a hut, and that's the last we see of him.
yeah, and then her dad. She escapes with her dad, and then Jerem. It's like he gets shot in like the side or something, and he's like, classic, like, you gotta go on without me. When I say run, you need to run, okay? And he says run, and then like so they still have the life monitors on their wrists, and as she's running away with Wicket, she sees that the life monitor for him just dies, like the light goes out, and so it's assumed that they're all dead.
It is, but it isn't. But yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like later in the movie, she definitely goes, my whole family died. Like she's pretty self-aware that
And she
She's
didn't
also,
even
like,
cry.
So like,
she didn't even cry. She did cry when she was leaving behind Wicket, though, so that's something. Anyways, so the family dies, and she does run away. Her and Wicket get captured. They end up getting captured because we find out there is a woman who looks like a witch. She can turn into a raven, and she captures them. And come to find out, I read this on Wikipedia. She's a Night Sister.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the Night Sister Charal.
Ta-da!
Charal. Anyway, so she's a Night Sister. She aids them, the Sanyasin Marauders, in capturing them. They get put in the back of a wagon with like, it looks like one of the old Western movie wagons with like bones and stuff, and looks classic evil marauder from the 80s. And then as they're getting taken away, they're talking to the Ewoks, and they realize there's a hole or like a door in the bottom of
like a loose board, I think.
yeah. They make a door in the bottom of the cart, and her and Wicket, the only two that are small enough, drop down from the cart and somehow are not seen by the rest of the Marauders riding blurgs and wagons and horses and stuff, and then they're able to escape. So very quickly we realize that now it's just Wicket and Sindel, and they are by themselves. Another thing that's worth noting is during the raid, when Jeremy gets shot, he's running away from the ship, and he's running away from the Marauders because the Marauders are looking for something that they describe as the power. Insert pun. I've got the power puns He-Man puns, whatever you want to. I made a He-Man pun when we were watching this, but the lead marauder, super ugly dude. He's looking for this thing called the Power, and they find a power cell from the Star Cruiser that they're repairing, and he steals it. So that's worth noting as well. So now we've got the Marauders. They have the power cell. They've taken a bunch of Ewoks, destroyed the village, taken a bunch with them. They're away. And now we have Sindel and we have Wicket. Now they're by themselves in the forest on Endor. All right, let's see where we're at. So we've talked about them escaping captivity. Oh, yeah.
Climb the mountain or something.
Yeah, they climb. That's what I was going to say. They climb the mountain. So the next big thing that you see happen, I'll just read from the Wikipedia article. Sindel and Wicket climb up the side of a mountain with the Senassans on their trail. They run into a cave. The Senassans shoot at the cave entrance, which causes rocks to fall and knock them off the side of the mountain to their deaths. Sindel and Wicket realize that although they are safe from the Senassans, they are also trapped from the rock collapse. Wicket insists that they find a way out. They walk through the cave until they find themselves at an opening atop a ledge overlooking the forest. Wicket then finds some materials to build a skin glider, which is the same glider that the Ewoks used in Return of the Jedi. Later on, after they have built a fire, Wicket is almost finished with the glider. As he searches the cave for some final materials to put the finishing touches on the glider, he runs across a condor dragon.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, guys, this thing looked really bad to me. Drew loved it because it's stop motion, but it looks like
a
Barney
and a condor,
and like kind of Barney-ish to me. I don't know, kind of fake, but it was a dragon with wings, essentially. They find a condor dragon. He runs from it and tries to hold it off with a spear and a rock. Sindel also throws a torch at it. However, this does not deter it, and it picks up Sindel and carries her away into the night sky. Wicket panics, but quickly gets on the glider and chases after it. He drops a stone on its head, so he gets up above the dragon, the condor dragon, in midair, drops a stone on it, which causes it to drop Sindel. He flies down and catches her, and then crashes the glider into the ground. They see the dragon overhead, which prompts them to run into the forest. When they stop, Wicket sees the dragon fly away, tells Sindel that she is safe. They find a hollow tree trunk to rest in for the night. So another hollow tree trunk.
Probably the same one, but yeah.
Last time Sindel hid in a tree trunk, you saw Wicket's butt.
Mm-hmm.
This time, what are we going to find? Who knows? I'll continue reading. The next morning, they're awakened by Teak. Okay. A very fast creature who annoys Wicket and amuses Sindel. Okay, so let's describe Teak real quick.
he looks like kind of like Elf, if you know who Elf is.
Yeah, he looks kind of like Alf, but more goat than Alf.
And white hair.
White hair, very, very frizzy, like crazy white hair, and he has super speed.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
And-
Like the Flash.
Yeah, it's.
I'm pretty sure he's force sensitive and he's just doing a speed run like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is like only ability though. I guess because
That we
all
can
he
see.
does. Yeah, but that's all he does.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Meek is now, he doesn't speak basic, but he's very fast and he's very unappealing to look at. It was very, dude. I don't know about you guys, but like Meek screamed like, "Oh, this is the '80s, and this is a character completely geared towards making kids laugh." Like that's what. This is the trope. They're putting this in just for that, as if Ewoks weren't enough. You know, a talking Ewok. Anyways, whatever. Okay. You can tell how I felt about this.
He's super bitter about it.
What'd you say?
He's super bitter about it, him
Not
talking.
bitter. Anyways, there were parts of this that I was like, okay, I'm done. But Wicket tries to attack him, but Sindel insists that he could help them. Teak leads them to a house, which they find to be messy and full of junk. Sindel assumes that it is deserted and suggests that they clean it up and make it their house. Yep, they're just going to settle in on Endor. Later on, however, as they are preparing to eat, the house's owner, Noah, arrives at the door. He is very displeased with them being there and sends them away. He then scolds Teak for letting them in. Sindel and Wicket sit down not far from the house where they discuss how hungry they are. Noah finds the food they were making and prepares he and Teak some of the food. Noah tells Teak not to give any of the food to Sindel or Wicket, but he does anyway while Noah isn't looking. So when we were talking about Santa earlier, this is Noah. He looks a lot like Santa who got stranded on Endor. He's just chilling in a hut, which kind of we were talking about during the stream reminded us of Radagast's hut from The Hobbit. Kind of that same vibe. Very messy. Lots of random stuff.
Really messy.
But there he is. So here's another thing that annoyed me. I don't know if it annoyed you guys. But Noah is the character that he acts super tough and really like grisly and abrasive on the outside, but he like very clearly has a heart for Wicket and for Sindel pretty quickly. But it's like, don't give him any of the food or give them any of the food. But if you just happened to run away really fast behind my back while I wasn't looking, you know, or like he says not to. And then he goes super specific. He's like, you better not go out there when I turn around right now and give them the food when I'm not looking and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, dude, it's very clear that
he's going to do that.
Like, yeah, it's like, it's very clear that you care for these kids. Or like, he'll be like, hey, you little freeloaders, what are you doing? Yada, yada, yada. As he's like being nice to them, like through his physical actions. You know, it's just like, dude.
Like, and then like Sindel has a nightmare in the middle of the night, and then he'll like, oh, you can get up and sleep in my bed, and like, just kind of.
Yeah, it's just like we know what you're trying to do, but you're going way over the top. Like we all can see you have a heart for these characters. You're not fooling anyone, so just stop being mean to them on purpose.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this was also where Drew made the comment where he questioned the relationship between Teak and Noah.
Oh, gosh. And
implied that he could be a pet or he could be something more, and we decided to not discuss that any further. So we're just going to leave that there. For those of you that were in the stream, you know what we're talking about.
And if you want to watch the stream, once again, it's on Twitch.
It is on Twitch. So anyways, outside, Sindel and Wicket start a fire, which is soon extinguished by an angry Noah with a bucket of water. He invites them in to stay for the night. During the night, Sindel dreams that the Sannyasins attack the house. She wakes up calling for Wicket, and Noah reassures her and lets her and Wicket sleep in his bed instead of himself. The next morning, Noah tells Wicket that it's time for them to leave, insisting that they must have family somewhere worried about them. Wicket asks Sindel if they are leaving, saying that his family needs him. She wonders where they are and says they will find them. So yeah, it's like, oh, you had a nightmare? You can sleep in my bed. And then they wake up and he's like, all right, you can't stay here anymore. And I'm like, dude, what? Stop. Just stop. Don't do this back and forth thing. Okay, so the leader of the Marauders is named Tarak. At Tarak's castle, Cheral, who is the Night Sister, bows before Tarak's throne, trying to perform a ritual on the power supply they stole from the Star Cruiser. Tarak is frustrated, wondering if the power supply really is, quote, the power they were looking for, to which she suggests that it is. He tells her that she either discover its magic or die. Then she then says things would have been easier if he wouldn't have let the child, Sindel, escape. Tarak becomes infuriated and repeatedly screams at her to find me that child. Back in the forest, Noah returns home and assumes that Sindel and Wicket are gone. He pretends to be glad they are gone and tries to explain away the fact that he made 2 beds. So yeah, he comes in with 2 like brand new beds that he made from materials in the forest,
or he bought somewhere or something.
No, he definitely didn't buy them, but we find out where he got the materials from in just a second. But it's like, dude, he's like, oh good, well, I won't need these 2 new beds that I made anymore, yada yada. And I'm like, dude, just, I'm sorry, it might not annoy anybody else, but I was like, man, quit doing that. Quit being that guy. Anyways, he tries to explain away the fact that he made 2 beds. Just then, Sindel and Wicket return, showing him the flowers they've been picking. That night, they make pies with the flowers, which I think have berries on them. And Noah puts Sindel and Wicket to bed in the beds that he made for them. The next morning, before he leaves, Noah gives Sindel and Wicket a series of chores that he wants them to do every day. Sindel wonders where Noah goes during the day and convinces Wicket that they should follow him. They follow him to a ship where they get caught in a booby trap. This sets off an alarm which alerts Noah. He gets very upset with them and frees them while explaining that he doesn't even allow Teak to come there. Inside the ship, Sindel asks Noah how he got to Endor. He explains that when he was a young man, he and his friend Salak were on their first mission together when their ship crashed on Endor. The crystal oscillator was shattered in the crash, so Salak went in search for another one while Noah stayed behind. Salak never returned, so Noah ended up stranded there. That night, Noah plays his flute, and they all make music until Wicket accidentally hits a steam cap that bounces around the room. Sindel sits in Noah's lap and bonds with Noah over the fact that they both have lost people close to them. She sings him "My Star," a song that her mother used to sing to her. Outside, meanwhile, Charal, in Raven form, has tracked Sindel down. She's listening to the conversation.
My Star, dude, that was a hit. That's a good song.
Yeah.
And you should cover that with
You
It's
should.
a banger. It's a banger.
You should cover that. And Jeremiah will sing over it.
No.
I'll cover it. I'll cover it if Jeremiah sings it.
Ooh.
No thanks. I'll pass.
Dang it.
Well, you're not getting a cover then. Yeah. So she sings the song. It's kind of cringy. I mean, and it's not because like she's particularly bad at singing. It's just like okay, we're really doing the whole thing. Like like you start and you're like, oh, this is cute, and then you
Still
realize,
not as bad as the songs from Holiday Special, though.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like they had Jefferson Starship on the Holiday Special.
True.
That's pretty banging. The first song was really weird. I don't want to go back. To that
we're
one.
we're not.
Yeah. Anyways. So yeah. It was just one of those moments where she starts singing. And I'm like, oh, this is cute, and then you realize, oh, we were doing the whole thing. We're doing the whole song.
Where is she?
Oh, all right.
All right.
Strapping in. All right. So anyways, she sings the song. And come to find out, Noah's ship is it's like a freighter. We're not
Right.
This isn't like an X-wing size fighter. No, this is like a freighter size ship. So it's a full-fledged starship. All right. Next section. Next morning, Sindel hears a voice calling for her that she thinks is her mother. She starts trying to follow the voice to its source in the forest. Wicket realizes that Sindel is gone and wakes Noah by throwing a bucket of water on him. Not a joke. That actually happened. Wicket senses danger, and he and Noah also hear the mysterious voice, which is by now singing "My Star" in the voice of her mother in the forest. In the forest. Okay, that's not a complete sentence. But anyways, Sindel finds a woman dressed in all white with a white horse by her side. Literally looks like a Disney princess. Sindel approaches the woman, who asks her to get her robe. The woman then reveals her true form to be Charal, who kidnaps her and rides away on her black horse.
The horse
Noah
becomes
and Wicket,
black.
Yeah, it was a white horse. It turns black. She turns from like stereotypical kind of like white blonde Disney princess looking woman into a witch again. She carries Sindel away. Noah and Wicket see the horse carrying Sindel away, so they quickly return to Noah's house, where he gets weapons and supplies. As they leave, Teak follows them. Meanwhile, Charal rides back to Tarak's castle, where she presents Sindel to Tarak. She demands to know what he has done to the Ewoks, to which he insists that they are his guests. He promises not to hurt the Ewoks as long as she can make the power supply work. He asks her to perform her magic, but she says she knows nothing about magic. He gives her until dawn to do what he asks, or else they are doomed. Before they are taken to their cells, Terok takes away Charles' ring, the one that allows her to turn into a raven. Meanwhile, not far away, Noah, Wicket, and Teak approach the castle. Back in the castle, Charles tries to get information out of Sindel, who again says she doesn't know anything and insists that it's only a component of the Star Cruiser. Charles then reveals that Salak came here long ago looking for the power and that Terok killed him for it. So that's fun.
So what are we supposed to think of, like, the whole power thing from the bad guy's perspective? Is this, did they think it was magic, or did they?
Yeah, they were very primitive, and they. Okay, so what? I don't think this is ever explicitly stated, but it's very evident that like they were trying to get off Endor as well.
Yeah, that's what my take of was.
Yeah, and they need the power either to power the castle or to power a starship or something. And
Power the castle, that'd be interesting.
well, because they had like torches and stuff. So it's like, I'm wondering if they like, or they needed it to power their blasters, or I don't know, something else. But they're super primitive, and technology is definitely a big deal to them.
Right.
So can you just imagine like a 6-year-old get thrown down in front of a power cell? He's like, "Do the thing," and she's like, I'm 6. Like, what am I supposed to do with a power cell? And then my least favorite part about this scene that we just read about was the fact that, like, very clearly these are the same guys that burned the Ewok village and, like, I don't know, killed your family. Oh,
We're good. Hold on.
we're good. Sweet.
Discontinue.
Okay. Jeremiah just dropped his mic by accident. But I love how he's like, you know, she's very clearly sitting in front of and they don't all look exactly the same, but you can tell, like, these are the same people who tore through the village and killed my family and burned a bunch of huts and stuff. But he's like, nah, the Ewoks that we stole are my honored guests. And she just believes him. She just plays into it. And I'm like, okay, I know you're 6 or 7 or whatever, but like, girl, it's not that difficult to understand. Like, the good and bad, obviously these are the people that killed your family, you know? Still makes more sense than The Last Jedi.
Oh.
Anyways,
Dude.
nah, I'm joking.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. That's fine.
I am actually joking. I don't hate that movie that much.
Anymore.
No, not anymore. But anyway,
It's grown on you.
yeah, kind of. Not as much as you might think, but it's still there. Okay, so before we get into the climactic last sections of this, I think it's time to hear a word from our sponsor. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna wanna hear about these people. I don't know if you know who they are. Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea, but we talk about them a lot, and some of you, this is your favorite segment.
True.
So, and you've made memes about it. So anyways, here we go. Take a listen to a word from our sponsor. Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor for today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing
Is that a
they have a
blanket?
subscription service that gets those amazing coffee beans delivered to your door on an either weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly basis. Unfortunately, we're all being negatively affected by this virus right now. With that being said, what a better time to try some new coffee and support a local business. I know they'll greatly appreciate it, and we will too. After all, using the code Empire Radio with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, when you start a new subscription,
I just shot it. I have no idea where the bullets went.
You'll get 50% off your first purchase. I can't think of a better deal. Get 50% off, support a local Minneapolis coffee shop, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I was waiting for Tanner's response because every time, for those of you that are just listening, you haven't been in a stream. Tanner's, it's one of Tanner's favorite segments ever, is that Wesley Andrews thing, because he's made it into a meme. And so I was waiting this whole time for Tanner's response in the chat, and then he texts, "I'm back. I'm sorry, I went to Taco Bell and the line was mad long." So, anyways, we're glad you're back.
Taco Bell, huh?
Yeah. You remember going to the quarry, going to Taco Bell?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
I didn't get out that much. You know that.
Yeah.
I stayed in my room and I did homework.
Yeah. I ate a lot of fast food from the quarry during my time at North Central.
I
I'm
just
not proud
shopped
of
at not the deli. What's the other one? Cafe? Or is it the deli? The deli.
Yeah.
The deli.
Those double burgers, I had those way too much.
Hey, we all had our thing, man.
Yep.
Tanner said, imagine Coruscant, but at Taco Bell. Yeah. Anyways, we're glad you're back, Tanner.
GG.
Yeah, but go get a coffee subscription. I promise.
Yeah, not
you're not
Taco
gonna-
Bell. Don't get Taco Bell.
No. Don't.
But if Taco Bell wants to,
Well, yeah, that's fair. If they want to
Yeah,
sponsor
I'm
us.
I kind of want Taco Bell now.
I don't.
I was thinking about the beef quesarito. That's a good one. It's good. It's my favorite.
Chipotle all the way or a taco
True.
truck all the way.
Chipotle.
I mean, you
all
can
the
have
way.
both.
But also, this has nothing to do with this. Wesley
Yeah.
Andrews, go wesleyandrews.cc.
Yeah.
Go sign
The
up.
coffee really is phenomenal. I could say that as someone who has tried it and is a coffee snob, and it blew me away. So
Can you hear the guy vacuuming above me right now?
no,
No.
never would have known.
I can definitely hear it in super loud, but okay.
You're good.
Sorry.
Okay. Sweet. Well, let's reach the epic conclusion of this story, shall we? All right. So, just a super quick recap for those of you that don't know where we are now, because we talked about Taco Bell too long. Sindel has been taken by Tarak and the San Yasin warriors. Noah, Meek, and Wicket. That's his name. Have gone to their castle, and they are going to try to get Sindel back. They're going to try to get the power source back, and they're going to try to get the other Ewoks back. Keep in mind that in the first movie, we learned that Endor has deserts
True.
and like grasslands. And in this movie, we learn that Endor has kind of a mountainous region, kind of akin to something you might see in the Lord of the Rings, where there's like some mountains and then some rolling hills with some rocks and stuff. And there's just a castle there somewhere on Endor. And that's where the Marauders live. A lot of them. Like hundreds of them. So Endor is a world of many surprises, we've learned. All right, so Noah, Wicket, and Teak. I said Meek earlier. His name's Teak. Sorry, guys. Goat. We called him Goat Boy during the stream. That's what I remember him as. Noah, Wicket, and Teak reach the castle moat. So yes, not only is there a castle,
There's a moat.
There's a moat. And use a grappling hook to climb to the top. Teak easily climbs the rope, which, by the way, they missed this in the summary, but there's like some sort of an animal in the moat, and it eats things.
Yeah,
An alligator.
Yeah. Knowing Endor's record for having very normal Earth animals, it's probably just an alligator or like a shark.
We don't see it. It's just a lot of bubbles and yeah.
It's because they had a tight budget and they were like, we don't need to. Okay, so they climb the wall with a grappling hook. Teak easily climbs the rope where he secures the grappling hook for the other two. Wicket climbs up second and is nearly attacked by a moat monster. Noah then prepares to climb up, but is spotted by a Sannyasin. Wicket ties one end of the rope to the Sannyasin and throws him over into the moat, which acts as a pulley, causing Noah to instantly be pulled up to safety, which was super hardcore, but also really smart. Like, I was impressed. I was like, you know what? That was good job. Good job, Wicket.
Maybe that's where they got the idea in The Mandalorian when Ahsoka fights Mando and she jumps over the tree and pulls him up. Like maybe that's where they got the idea from.
Maybe.
Jon Favreau has said that he really likes the Ewok movies, so
He's a good man. He's a good
You're
man.
not wrong. They descended to the castle where the Sannyasins are drinking and laughing. Wicket realizes where the Ewoks are located and tells the others. Teek sneaks into the main room where he grabs a cloak. He, Noah, and Wicket then walk through the main room pretending to be a robed figure. They reach the imprisoned Ewoks, but need a key to unlock the cages. The keys are located near a pair of card-playing Sannyasins who Teek plays a trick on. He inserts a card into one of their sleeves, which eventually falls out and causes the other to accuse him of cheating. The two instantly draw their guns and shoot each other. Not joking.
they both die.
Yeah, this is a thing. And somehow he got the card in the sleeve. No one realized it, and then they shot. Like they just straight up draw and shoot each other instantly. Meanwhile, Teek takes the keys. They then use the keys to free Sindel and the Ewoks. Charl also begs to be freed, but Sindel protests and throws the keys into a drain. So yeah, so Charl, when they were having the conversation that we talked about earlier, when Tarak took her ring, he threw her into the cell next to Sindel. And so she's like, hey, free me, please. Like, I need to be free too. And Sindel's like, nah.
No, Sindel's like, no, not that one.
Yeah,
she's
like,
evil.
No, not that one. She's like straight up just has like an Anakin moment. She's like, nah, I'm not gonna help you at all.
She
And
literally
then
calls her evil. She's like,
yeah,
no,
and then
she's
she
evil.
throws the keys. She yeets them straight into the drain, and there's no getting them back.
Nope.
There's no getting them back. So she's just stuck. Noah, Sindel, Wicket, Teek, and the Ewoks then try to make their way out of the castle, but run into a Sannyasin guard who Wicket shoots in the leg. They run the other way, but the guards alert the rest of the castle to their escape, who proceed to look for the escapees.
It's more like
Meanwhile-
the foot, not the leg.
Yeah, he gets shot in the foot, and then there's like this slapstick moment when he goes to tell the others. They all run out of the room,
And they all
step
step on his foot, and it's like smoking and flaming. Like,
Yeah, it's very like
it's for
80s.
kids. It's hilarious.
It's a kids movie.
It's like classic Home Alone slapstick.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Noah uses a thermal detonator to blow a hole in the castle wall. Wicket tries to hold off the Sannyasins by shooting a few with a blaster. Noah throws a grappling hook over to a rock, which allows him to escape from the castle in like a zip line. It's like a zip line thing. Before they leave, Sindel points out Salak's skeleton and explains what happened to Noah. She also shows him the power converter, which he takes with him at Charles' protest. They all finish escaping with the Sannyasins shooting at them. Inside the castle, Tarak threatens to kill Charles, but she tells him that there is another ship. He gives her ring back, and she turns into a raven. He then takes her ring back, leaving her in raven form, which is really hardcore. As humans and Ewoks make their way back to the village, the Sannyasins prepare for an attack. They too then head for the village, with Charles flying ahead of them. So yeah, it's pretty clear that the Sannyasins wanted to get off the planet.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's worth noting that there's a lot of Sannyasins. Like there's probably about 100, if not more, of them that they're all going out together for battle.
And this is where your favorite detail of the scene, the movie, is when he's holding the sword backwards the whole time. Which,
yeah, that was
I get what you're saying, but maybe it was just a weird design of a sword, and they just kind of like.
Yeah, maybe. It
But
just
like,
doesn't.
but it did look like he was holding it backwards, though.
Like, here's the thing: if you were gonna swing it at branches and like cut things down, sure, I can see. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter. But like, if that sword was made to be used in combat against other swords, which I would assume logically it was, the design doesn't make any sense the way he was holding it. But that's just me.
But it was literally like 10 times after you said, like every time I showed it, like you always pointed it out.
Yeah, but then he would like hold it the right way, and then he would hold it a different way, and then he would hold it the right way, and I'm like, dude, come on. Like, it doesn't matter with a lightsaber to a certain extent, because the blade is just the a
Circle,
cylinder of,
yeah.
of energy. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So everyone reaches the village at nearly the same time. Noah tells the Ewoks to defend against the Senya, and by the village, they mean the ship.
Yeah.
They reach the ship at nearly the same time. Noah tells the Ewoks to defend against the Sannyasins while he gets the ship ready. He then installs the power converter into the ship, but has trouble getting it to work. Meanwhile, the Ewoks prepare to fight. They fight the Sannyasin army with a combination of their own techniques and ingenuity combined with use of Noah's catapult. She has like an actual mechanical catapult there sitting by the ship that they use. The Sannyasins eventually reach the ship and start attacking it. Noah finally gets the power going, and he, along with Teak and an Ewok, use the turrets to defend against the Sannyasins. So it's kind of funny because like this whole scene where they're fighting before they get the guns working is literally just Return of the Jedi. Like the same tactics. Like
Yeah.
they end up tripping one of the guys.
It's like the same
Like-
last movie too. They had the same similar.
Yeah, they trip one of the guys. They swing in and like kick people out of coming from trees. They have bows and arrows and spears and stuff. It's like
One guy
Oh,
gets
look.
speared really good.
yeah. I mean I'm not gonna lie. They're wrecking the
Yeah.
Sannyasins. And it's funny. I think it was 8-Bit who in the chat during the stream was like they love how Ewoks with sticks and stones have yet to be defeated by anyone with like modern technology in Star Wars. Like they're still undefeated at this point, which is crazy. So anyways, Sindel finally watches the battle from initially watches the battle from one of the ship's monitors, but eventually ventures out to help Wicket, who gets caught in a booby trap. Tarek captures her, and as the Ewoks tell Noah that he will trace Sindel for the power supply, Noah confronts Tarek, and they engage in a duel, with Tarek using his sword and Noah using his walking stick. Sindel urges Wicket to do something, and he uses his sling to shoot a rock at the ring hanging around Tarek's chest, which causes him to turn to ash, Avengers Endgame style. Charl, who is still trapped in her Raven form, flies away.
No, Tanner in the chat said Noah is the least Star Wars name ever.
Okay, but what you don't understand, Tanner, is it's spelled N-O-A.
Mm-hmm.
No H.
And he looks like
Instant
Santa
Star
Claus.
Wars. And he looks like Santa Claus, kind of. With the Sannyasins defeated and Noah's ship now operational, Sindel and Noah say goodbye to Teak and the Ewoks. Teak is sad to see Noah go, and the two embrace. Sindel also speaks with Wicket and Teak, promising to visit them again. Before leaving, she hugs Wicket. The two humans then climb aboard the ship, which flies away. Teak and Wicket, who are now friends, watch as the ship blasts off into the atmosphere, and Wicket waits on Endor until the Empire occupies it, and he then meets Leia and doesn't talk to her. That wasn't a part of the summary.
I was
just
like,
gonna
huh?
mention. Okay, so yeah, Tanner, that's hilarious. He said Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker, Ki-Adi Mundi, Noah. So I want to go back to something. Okay. So the summary says they just engage in a duel. But what I don't want this moment to gloss over and not to explain what actually happens in this scene. Okay. So Tarak, the head marauder, has a sword. Okay. He has a big sword.
That he doesn't know how to hold.
That he doesn't know how to hold. It doesn't matter, though. He's got a sword, and he's got Sindel. Okay? They're in the forest. He doesn't have any cover. They're in a clearing. He doesn't have any cover, really. And Noah walks in with his staff. There are Ewoks, multiple Ewoks, within eyeshot of what is happening.
And keep in mind, Noah has a blaster, too, on him.
Noah has a blaster, and the Ewoks, we have seen them pick up blasters from the Marauders and begin using them against the Marauders. They have blaster rifles. These are ranged weapons, okay? The Ewoks are, I assume, have surrounded them because the battle has ceased and it's just Tarak left. So instead of shooting him, okay, this is where this was the final straw for me. Instead of shooting him, instead of one of the Ewoks being like, you know what? The height difference here between her, it's not okay. It's not like he was holding Sindel hostage and they were like, oh, we can't get a clear shot. Like, no, there's like a 3.5 foot difference between Sindel and this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of shooting him in the head, in the back, in the leg, it doesn't matter. Instead of shooting him, Noah's like, you know what? Fine. I'll duel you for it. Hand to hand.
Duel.
No. Not even freaking Duel Master cards. Duel Monsters, sorry. Duel Masters was a completely different thing. We're not talking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's no Exodia. There's no Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Red Eyes White Dragon.
Black Dragon. What is Black Dragon? No. There's no Seto Kaiba. Joey Wheeler. None of that. There's no blasters. Like, he doesn't decide to use his blaster. No. He said, you know what? We'll settle this once and for all.
Rock, paper, scissors.
With literal.
So Tanner said.
Tanner said, with like a literal Agni Kai. If you're a fan of Avatar, it was essentially an Agni Kai. Tanner, it wasn't even Sabak. Sabak would have made more sense than.
They were playing a game.
They were playing a game. The two guards that shot each other, but it wasn't Sabak. We don't know what it is, but
kind of looked like it could be. I don't know.
Maybe it was Sabak. Because
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
Pronunciations are.
I'm not gonna say Get Out, but I was thinking it really strongly in your general direction. Sabak, Tanner said Sabak to the death. No, this was a duel, a hand-to-hand duel between a guy in an alien costume and an older white man
That looks like Santa.
that looks like Santa, who very clearly wasn't a stunt person. So it's like, you know, you could.
You can say it. Go ahead. Go ahead. He was a big boy.
He wasn't. He's not. He wasn't fat, but he wasn't.
He was Santa.
He wasn't in his prime. So all I'm saying is, like, they
The thing
decided.
is, he's been stranded on this planet for decades, and
Yeah, but,
he's,
like, dude,
he's had to have lost weight, so he probably is in his prime because
True.
he's
I just want to make note that he's like, hey, you know, I've got all these resources around me. I've got all these ranged weapons, these energy weapons. You know what? Let's have hand-to-hand combat. Let's enter Mortal Kombat.
You know, he
For the
is Santa
sake of
in
this-
his prime, Jeremiah. You're right.
He's just like, yeah, you know what? This child's life and the likelihood of me getting off this planet with this ship is worth, in my old age, dueling someone to the death, hand to hand. So that's 1985 direct-to-TV movie storytelling for you folks. And then, okay, so by the way, the whole movie, like Jeremiah said earlier, we kind of think. We kind of thought that, you know what, maybe her family, at least the family that's still alive, is going to show up. Like, maybe Mace.
The whole time we're like, they're still alive. They're coming.
Yeah. And then they just fly away. And then Jeremiah's like, well, maybe as they're flying away, we're going to see them. Like, they're going to fly over the family. They're going to see him. And no. They like.
Go
he went from 0 to 60. Yeah, straight into the sky.
They're dead.
Yeah.
They died.
So.
And the funny thing though is during this whole movie, Andrew's looking at the movie poster, and there's this guy on the movie poster that hasn't shown up, and there's only 20 minutes left. Like, who is this guy? Like,
Yeah.
There's a prominent guy like in the middle of the poster, a white guy.
Yeah.
And we thought this guy was gonna show up somehow.
Yeah.
It was
And
Jeremiah the whole time.
This is Jeremy.
But we figured out that it was probably this Jeremy who was literally in the movie for less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, anyways, this was still. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have my quips and everything about.
Yeah,
it.
you
Like,
sound really Jeremiah when you're describing that.
I'll tell you. Well, it's just the fact that, like, okay, I know it's a kids movie, and having a fight to the death would be a lot more entertaining than just an Ewok shooting it in the back. And also, that's not necessarily G or PG when it comes to, like, kids movies, having somebody being shot in the back. But, like, come on. Anyways, all of that to say, this and the last movie, they were not terrible. They were still better.
This
than the
one was
Christmas special.
better than the last one.
Yeah, they're still better than the holiday special as a whole.
Oh,
I like
100%.
the holiday special more because of the the memes and the charm factor and just of how hilariously bad it is. But like these were like solid stories by themselves. for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Ewoks, the battle for Endor.
Yeah. And Tanner
That
in the
was-
chat, he was saying that he needs to watch this. He doesn't remember.
Yeah, you definitely should.
You definitely need to go watch it with us. Just go to the watch party
yeah.
and watch the whole thing with us, even when Andrew has to leave because he has internet issues.
Yeah, there
Like,
are a few
just
times we had to
ride
pause.
it. You pause it with us. Like, just watch it with us because it'll probably make it a lot better.
Oh, and I also eat a whole.
Oh, yeah.
muffin
Oh,
again.
he
Yeah,
True.
One bite.
He had another muffin.
Yep. Which, if you guys don't know, Jeremiah is good at putting giant muffins in his mouth. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You have to go
Drew,
on.
what was it you said during your stream earlier? That was like the quote of the day. It was like our viewers want to see muffins. Or
Oh,
our viewers want muffins or something like
there's
that.
more people wanting to watch Jeremiah put muffins in his mouth than me building Legos. But, it's all good.
But then it was like something. It was something very, very like it was like a statement. It was like our viewers want to see muffins or something like that. And I was like, Drew 2024.
Yes, I don't
Our
remember
viewers
that.
want to
That
see
was-
muffins.
I remember that, but I don't remember what I said.
I don't remember.
I wonder if
either.
I can go back and read it.
It doesn't matter. All right. Well, that was Ewoks Battle for Endor. Next week, we're going to be Jeremiah, Drew, and I are going to be covering the first 2 seasons of the Ewok.
Oh, we
cartoon
are.
Oh,
in
we are?
detail. No, I'm
Oh.
joking.
I was like, oh, geez.
Got to put some work in over the weekend.
No, but there is an Ewoks cartoon, and
Yes.
There's
we
a
do need
lot
to-
of content, so like,
yeah,
I don't know how we're gonna do that, but well,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
I don't know
I
if
was-
it's next
I was
week,
gonna say,
but
at least I would just do the first episode, but we'll see what happens. We still got the Ewok content, and then the other stuff that was added to Disney Plus in the Vintage Collection was the Clone Wars, the OG Clone Wars, which we ironically had just finished when they announced that they were dropping it, and then the 9-minute cartoon short from the holiday special.
which me and Andrew will go over that again next year when we watch
Oh,
the
yeah.
holiday special.
December is happening, and Jeremiah's gonna be
Oh,
there.
we're forcing
Sorry, I gotta work.
Jeremiah.
Me too. We'll schedule it for when you don't have to work.
oh,
True.
Gosh, well, it is the holiday season, and that's when I plan over.
It's November
man.
14th. Is
Yeah, or is it the 17th? I think it's the 17th.
17th or 14th? I don't
I don't remember. We're watching it on Life Day. Okay. Get you in the holiday spirit.
Well, I'll pray about it. I'll get
Oh
back
Oh
to you.
my gosh.
It's a
All right,
Wednesday.
well, any
and Jeremiah doesn't
any
work
final-
Wednesdays.
Yeah. Ooh.
I gotta go to the grocery store on Wednesday. Sorry.
We have altered the deal. Pray we do not alter it further.
But yes.
All right. Well, do you guys have any more? Do you guys have any more thoughts about this? I did a lot of the talking, so I didn't know if you had
No,
a favorite part or.
Nope. I love the stop motion. And yeah, it felt like Star Wars. It felt more like Star Wars than even the last Ewok movie. So I liked it. I think the biggest thing that our listeners need to take away is that next week we're not going to be talking about Ewoks. Yeah. So stay tuned for next week.
All right.
And the next week after that is Star Wars Day. And I'm super
Yeah.
pumped for Star Wars Day. And you guys should
Bad
be
Batch, 7
Bad-
episode.
too. Whew.
Yep.
Other
Taking-
surprises may or may not
taking-
be
Yeah.
coming on that same day. So
Yeah. Taking the day of my wife's birthday and completely dedicating it to Star Wars. So. Luckily.
Should have
she's-
came a
she's
day
okay.
late or a day early. But,
That's fair. And also not fair at the same time.
No.
She had no control over that. But yeah, no, it's okay. We're celebrating her birthday the weekend before so that I can geek out about Star Wars. on her
Perfect.
birthday. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, anything else, boys?
nope.
nope.
All right. Well, you have been listening to another episode of the Empire Radio Podcast. I'm Andrew,
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
and may the Force be with you.
Always.